This is a Big Brother 27 live feed update. Like, comment, and subscribe, share. Get me to 1,000 subs. Now, in this live feed update, I'm going to talk about Catherine and Lauren, who seemingly is nervous about being renowned because they find themselves up Jimmy's butt this week. They're constantly in the HOH. For an ungodly amount of time, and I'm going to speak about that. Also, I'm going to talk more about LL Cool J RYLIE and him and Mickey's recent flirtation, believe it or not, and not so much game related. I guess you could say it has some influence on the game, but it is a social dynamic that could possibly lead to some game. But quite frankly, we really can't take the game seriously in general post BB22, especially in a season like this where you have a returner who production clearly wants deep into the end. And then lastly, I'm going to talk about Morgan running around like a chicken with their head cut off, constantly talking game, and now trying to make a new alliance. But first, Kat and Lauren. Yeah, the thing with Kat and Lauren is it seems as though they've increased their presence in the HOH solely because Jimmy has a replacement nom to make, and everybody's nervous that he's going to have to put up not just one more person, thanks to Casey, not Keanu, winning the veto, but two, because of Kelly's secret power that's not so secret because everybody knows about it. And that's the only thing that I can think of, because before I didn't see them that much in the previous HOH room. I mean, not from what I caught. And before this renom became a situation, I was not seeing them in the HOH room like they are now. Now, when it comes to their standing in the house, it seems like more people are ready and willing to pull Lauren into something, while no one's seemingly wanting to pull Catherine in, outside of, RYLIE, but he's not even doing anything game-wise. And quite frankly, it could end up being a smart move, depending on who wins HOH and who gets caught, going around making alliances. Like Morgan could potentially get herself caught. Now, Lauren is already in a named alliance called the Bond Alliance with her, Will, Adrian, Zach, and I think Vince is in it as well. So, and I think I named Ava. Ava's in it as well. So 6 in that Lauren is attached to a named alliance. But when it comes to Catherine, she's not in anything. She seems to be one of the women that the women are willing to evict pre-jury. And I guess she thinks, maybe she needs to attach to Jimmy, but Jimmy, he can't compete for HOH next week. So look out for that one. Maybe when Catherine goes, RYLIE would want to go. Or maybe he'll start playing game. Speaking of RYLIE, again, he had a recent interaction with Mickey, and they were talking about lotion, and he brought up that he was thick, but then made it seem like he was talking about the lotion. So who knows? That's why I just find his presence interesting, because, just based on his aesthetic and archetype, I surely didn't think he would be the one that the females would be seemingly most comfortable with. Yeah, I wouldn't have guessed it at all. Sort of like he's getting more play than a Zach. A Zay, obviously, they voted him out. And this could potentially just lead to one or two things. People wanting to get him out early because, he could be a threat because everybody likes him, or brought along because everybody likes him. And he has been named in a lot of alliances. And I guess if he just gave a small bit of effort, the people that want him out would want him in, because the main criticism, funny enough, when Morgan and Mickey was talking about him, is that he's seemingly not playing the game. But the fact of the matter is, none of these people are playing the game, since none of them want to get Rachel out of the house. you can't insult anybody's game when one of your main goals is to get a returner that's won before, and all these twists exist in this house in this season. You want to make sure that person gets into jury. So no one can really insult anybody's game when they want Rachel to make it into jury and her extra votes with Amy and Ashley, because that's what Morgan and Mickey wants. But again, speaking of Morgan, right now she's going around the house gathering Vince and Zach to start an alliance with, now, funny enough, members of the Bond alliance that they have. She wants to pull in Will, maybe because Mickey told her more POCs need to be on jury. She also wants to add, well, Zach suggested Lauren, which I'm sure Morgan is displeased with, because that's another thing. Morgan is clearly has it bad for Zach, and she's constantly bringing up, and Rachel encouraged this, but through Rachel and her own mindset, she's constantly bringing up how young and pretty Catherine and Lauren are. And so she's obviously sort of targeting them for that reason. And she's been acting like somebody that's in danger. And then she's always crying and having mood swings. I mean, she is making it crystal clear why someone like her is single. In a way, she sort of reminds me of Rubina. But I don't think anybody in this season is going to be stupid enough to actually showmance her. But anyway, we'll see if Morgan moving around trying to get new allies, that doesn't include Jimmy. We're going to see if she gets caught up in that situation. Should be interesting, but probably won't be.